Today is a very special player comparison episode because usually we go back in time to compare players, but it would be wrong of us to ignore this trending debate among two of the top midfielders or top defensive midfielders in the Premier League by trade. And we're talking about Moises Caicedo and Declan Rice playing for Chelsea and Arsenal respectively. I'm an Arsenal fan, but today I chose not to wear my Arsenal jersey so that anything I would say would not be mistaken for bias. But anyways, Victor and Max will be doing most of the talking anyways. For Victor, I know maybe or maybe not, this might be a difficult question, but who is the better player all around between Caicedo and Rice in your opinion, and why?
Rice. Don't get me wrong, Caicedo's great at what he does, but he doesn't do as much as Rice. Uh,
Mm.
I think I think Caicedo's more defense minded than that absolute Rolls Royce of a midfielder that is Declan Rice. I love that no one is bothered to bring up how much Arsenal paid West Ham for it because it was worth every last pound. And I genuinely was hoping that when he leaves West Ham, he goes to Liverpool. It didn't happen, but it is what it is. At the moment, I can't look past Rice.
Yeah, Max, you agree with that?
Probably yes, but it's so complicated actually for me because I just feel like Caiced is he's obviously younger and he can improve with the time and he can probably well saw that goal against Liverpool and man, if he can improve his attacking skills, he can probably overcome Rice.
Fair enough. And moving on, Victor, who has been more impactful since they signed for their current club?
I have to go with Caicedo here. I can barely imagine where Chelsea would be without him. He's as important as Palmer to them. But that's also in part due to Arsenal being a better side than Chelsea. Still, Caicedo he lurked in the shadows as that sort of unsung hero, whether it was on the way to the Conference League trophy or the Club World Cup. It just made things happen for them. As
Yeah.
for Rice, I think he's relatively blameless for Arsenal's failures because it's not like he was the one to injure Havertz or Saka or whoever else fell like flies in recent years. But he perhaps also wasn't as much of a leader as he should have been in the tough times.
Interesting. Over to you, Max. Who is more of a joy to watch on and off the ball?
I mean, watching Arsenal against the Real Madrid game and seeing these two free kicks, you have to go with Rice. And obviously, he's more attack minded, and you more often see him scoring or assisting and doing crazy stuff, while Caicedo is more like destroying the attack and the opponent's attack. So, yeah, I'd probably go with Declan Rice here.
Mm, fair enough. So, Victor, this one is more of an opinion based question. It's based on your own understanding. Would Caicedo be a starter at Arsenal more than Declan Rice would be a starter at Chelsea? Which of them has more likelihood of happening?
Okay, if both were to swap places and
Yeah.
this happening at the same time, I think both of them would be starting as long as they had a pulse. Probably Caicedo though would have a slight advantage here because Rice and Enzo Fernandez are a bit similar in certain aspects. While if you look at Arsenal, they don't really have someone like Caicedo because of how the team play and the system differences here. Zubimendi, yes, but he's not on Caicedo's level as far as I'm concerned.
Interesting. So, Max, also a very subjective question. Who would you rather have in your team between Caicedo and Declan Rice?
Can I have both in my United squad right now? Because I saw
No chance.
some news that ex-United players offered the club these two and nobody was signed. But I'd probably go with Caicedo. As I already mentioned, he's younger and he's unproven in attack, but he can definitely improve in that terms. And I just feel like he can bring more to the team than Rice can, potentially. And I feel like even if he is not performing the best, he would still be cost like 100 mil because he's so young and you can always sell him. While Declan Rice in 4 years, he would start to get it down, so I'll probably go with Caicedo.
Yeah, Victor, your answer to that one as well.
Yeah, I think this is the toughest question of the day for this comparison. And honestly, can I say Gravenberch? Because if I had to pick between the three, I would go with the Liverpool DM. But strictly between these two, I agree with Max and I would pick Caicedo. He seems more disciplined tactically. I know, again, this might be a
He
bit.
has more cards than Declan Rice, double the amount of.
Tactically, not in terms of keeping his temper. I also checked the cards though. It's a very small difference actually. And when it comes to Reds, Caicedo has none, Rice has one in their career. But tactically speaking, Caicedo is more disciplined. He's more likely to do what he's told, I think. Rice is great too, but Caicedo has that little bit extra. So I would trust him more to follow my instructions. And also, as Max pointed out, he is 3 years younger than Rice.
Fair. And on the final note, which player has a chance? This one's for you, Victor. Which player has a chance away from Arsenal and Chelsea? If you were to take both players to join other top teams in the world, which player has a better chance of walking into the starting exile of the best teams you would consider in the world right now? Maybe the PSGs, the Barcelonas, the Bayerns, and whatnot.
I think a lot of this has to do with perception because Rice has this aura about him. It could have something to do with the stature, and I'm not kidding, because he's actually a full 4 inches taller than Caicedo, which I hadn't realized until doing my research for this episode. Leaving height aside, though, Rice is more comfortable in possession. And because he's a bit more attack-minded and fits the box-to-box mold better, I think he would walk into more top sides than Caicedo because top sides tend to control possession, tend to control the tempo. And I think he has that advantage over Caicedo.
Yeah, Max, just on the final note, do you agree with Victor's assessment?
Probably I'd say no, because looking at the squads like Bayern, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they have pretty much a lot of attack-minded players, and often enough they have, I'd say, pretty mid in terms of the clubs. Obviously, players playing CDM and close to that role, and I just feel like Caicedo can offer more than Rice as a defensive player, while attack-wise, they have a lot of players to score you. You don't need Declan Rice as well, so I'd probably say Caicedo.
Okay, fair enough. And I'll try not to say my own opinions on this because I would be taking, or they will be taken as bias. But yeah, I know the player I'm picking in a million years from now. I know the player I would definitely pick.
You could be wearing a Spurs jersey right now, and we know what you're picking.
Right. But fair enough. I think at the end of the day, it's all about perception, right? If you are looking at a player that can give you more than just, tackles and interceptions, you're looking at Declan Rice. If you're looking at a player to do all the dirty work in the middle of the park and do it diligently, you're looking at Caicedo. So it depends on your setup as a team and maybe your philosophy as what you enjoy from a midfielder. But on that note, we'll ask our viewers to join us in the discussion because this one has caused a lot of controversy between Arsenal and Chelsea fans. Caicedo and Rice, who is a better midfielder? Who would you rather have in your team? And which of these players can start in the best teams in world football? We'll be waiting to see your comment in the section below.